Right. G'day everyone. Thank you, Paul and Reed Corporate and everyone in the room for making it through. I know we've got a lot of presentations today, but I'm really excited to share the Trek Metals story with you. So as you can see up on the screen, that is a photo of some gold, high-grade gold in a vein from the Kimberley region that we drilled late last year. It's high grade, it's one of many veins that we intersected in a discovery hole there. And I'm really excited to get back out and test that. We should have the rig spinning in May and really find out how much we've got there. And so we're gold. I don't think there's any better place to be at the moment. There's so much volatility in the market, and that really just plays into the strengths of gold. The Australian dollar's being devalued again, so in Australia dollar terms, gold is going great. We're in Western Australia, so proven mining jurisdiction, and we're greenfields. So most of the other companies that you've heard about that are looking for gold, they're going under historic workings, known gold areas. We're quite different. There's nothing wrong with that model, but I find, my belief, and I know a lot of others also believe, that the next round of really major discoveries, and I'm talking about like multi-million ounce discoveries, are going to come from undercover. We've got shallow sand obscuring the geology, where you don't, it hasn't been subjected to these, prospecting style of exploration that you'd expect of a fertile belt of paleoprote rocks in Western Australia. And so you'll have to forgive me, I am a technical geologist by trade, so there's going to be a bit of geology in this one, but I'll try to keep it higher level, and you can come chat to me about rocks. I'm pretty passionate about it afterwards. All right, so Trek, TKM, ASX listed, and what I believe is a really compelling risk to return proposition. Our strategy is exploring for Tier 1 projects in frontier locations. So we've got a couple. I want to focus on the Christmas Creek project in the Kimberley region of Western Australia, where it was, the photo there is from the main drilling that we did last year. As you can see, it's just sand, no geology sticking out of the ground. It's at the major intersection of two origins, and the major structures that come through from the Tanami, which is a prolific gold region in the Northern Territory. We got high-grade discovery at Martin was 10 metres at 12.66 grams, and then another intersection of 10 metres at 7. So, really fantastic thicknesses and grades there. Pretty remarkable for a greenfields area. Highly leveraged to success. We've got a market cap around 25 million. So, the value creation, we're really just at the beginning of our journey. If you look at all the Tier 1 discoveries, throughout history, and I've just gone through that process, there's really significant re-rate when you're onto a system of significance, which we believe we're onto. So portfolio primed for exploration success. Christmas Creek, if we can point, sits there. So it's at the intersection of the King Leopold, Halls Creek, and then the Tanami. So where it sits there, it was simply a theory 7 years ago. Group of technical geos came up with the idea and went, that's a pretty good place to look for gold, and enthused the world's largest gold miner, Newmont, to go exploring. They spent 6 years and $6 million at the project doing all the hard yards. And we're really able to capitalise on all that work that they've done. And everything that drew Newmont to the project still exists today. Arguably, it's a way better opportunity now. And I actually ran into the project geos that were in charge of this project a couple of days ago at the Ages Conference in the Northern Territory. And, they were really enthused about the intersection that we got at a couple of different prospects. And orogenic gold is what we've got, and why are we after that? Significant scale potential. These things go down for kilometres and kilometres. And, they can really build their high-grade systems. There's visible gold, really high-value product. And so let's just get into the details. The project, this is the gold in soil over the project. It's over 1,200 square kilometres, so it's a massive tract of ground up in the Kimberley. Number of targets there that were identified, and the ones that I mainly want to talk about are Martin, where we got the high-grade gold, and Zarn, where we've got broad, low-level gold, which, as you can see, it's the biggest red dot on the screen. When Newmont walked away, they were really perplexed by Zarn, where they'd done a bunch of drilling and weren't able to explain why it was there. And I believe, we've explained it during our maiden drilling last year. And the geology, when you look at it, it all starts to make sense. We're unravelling it, and we've got some really great targets there as well. This is the drilling. So as I said, Martin, high-grade intersections, and some broad, low-grade at Zarn. Coogan looks like a different beast, not orogenic, looks more like an intrusion-related Telfer, Winu, more of a copper, bismuth flavour. My geochemist loves that one because he said you can stick a hole anywhere in a square kilometre and you'd know you're in a big mineral system. And you want to be in one of these really big mineral systems to have, multiple, chance of having a big economic deposit. But for starters, it's Martin. So this is zooming into the Martin prospect. These dots are coloured by gold. And you've got two trends there. The white call-outs are historical intersections, and the yellow one there is the one that we made last year, so considerably better. So we really feel like we're honing in on, discovery here. And so, actually, I'll just go back. So the 2 metres at 9.6 grams per tonne gold is a hole that was drilled 2 years ago that we were following up. And that's a fantastic grade. And we came in and we scissored that hole based on televiewer data. And so what's televiewer? It's a truck with a winch and a wire line. They send down a probe, and it essentially takes a photograph all the way down. It uses a few different tools, but you can work out the orientation of these veins because we've got high-grade gold veins. You need to know which direction are they going so you can explore and build up the picture. And importantly, this is the data from our hole. You can see that we've intersected everything essentially at right angles, so true width. It's not like we've just drilled down a single vein. We've hit multiple stacked high-grade veins over a significant area, which is exactly what we were hoping for. Couldn't have asked for any better. Here's a cross-section and a plan view of that hole 97, and also of hole 12. So in hole 12, televiewer was also done, and it showed that the high grade, the 9 grams, was roughly sub-parallel to the hole. So we've come in and multiple stacked high grade. And that's on the left. You can see the section on the plan looking from above. The veins really behave themselves where they're all trending in the same orientation, which gives you confidence. It also matches with the magnetics, gives you confidence that when we go back and follow this up with the drill rig, which we'll be doing next month, that we've got a pretty good chance of hitting some more gold. The scale is certainly there as well. The drill lines are 250 metres apart. At the angle that it's at, it's more like 350 metres to the next drill line where we actually got some smoke, some low-grade gold. And then to the southwest, it's just completely open. And obviously, like I said, at depth, these orogenic systems typically just keep going and going. Our drill hole's only 120 metres. The mineralisation there starts 59 metres down hole, so less than 50 metres from the surface. So whilst it's, it's undercover, it's obscured, it's only about 5 metres of sand in this area. So this is Zarn, the other target that I want to talk about. Historically, Newmont were targeting an area to the south where the soil was most enriched in gold. Whilst they were doing the drilling there, they extended the soil profile to the north and to the south and to find a new zone of gold in the north. We went and followed that up and got the most significant results at this prospect. We got 28 metres at 0.18 grams. Whilst not economic, that is certainly showing that there's a fertile, active system there. I think, in terms of scale, again, it's those black outlines where we think it's a real logical contrast. So the gold fluids come through a permeable unit, and then they hit a contrast and they drop out the gold. And so I've traced that on there, and each one of those zones circled in red are about 1 kilometre long. So there's just huge scale potential, and I think we're really honing in on what could be a really significant gold system there as well. So there's plenty to do up in the Kimberley. We'll just skip through Coogan and move on to another project that we've got, which is McEwen Hills. Again, frontier location. We're out, looking for game-changing deposits. We're really out there trying to find, major deposits. And what drew us to this one is you've got WA1 made the Looney discovery along strike, which is in the Western Australian side of that belt of rocks that you can see at the bottom there. We've got some ground in the Northern Territory side, and it's never seen a drill hole. It's proven that this belt hosts world-class deposits, and it's just completely underexplored. So I'm really excited about getting out there as well. We're waiting on an access agreement, but we've got plenty to do to keep ourselves busy at Christmas Creek for now. All right, so a little bit about the company and the team. We've got Tony Leibowitz as chairman, Neil Biddle, who you heard from earlier today, and John Young. The three of them were founding directors at Pilbara Minerals, so they've been through it before, created, made a major discovery, world-class discovery at Pilgangoora, and really just, delivered outsized shareholder returns. And so they've been through it before. Just before I came to Trek, I was at the Havieron discovery with Greatland and Newcrest, and saw significant value creation there as well. The share price was about 2 pence when I arrived. It had already rocketed up from 0.2 pence, and it went on to 36 pence. So, these tier one discoveries, and that's just on the other side of the belt of the basin, by the way. So, in Western Australia, big copper gold discovery. So we've all been through it before. Rounded out by Russell Hardwick, our company secretary. So the code, TKM, share price about 5 cents, I believe we closed out today, puts us at a market capitalisation of about $25 million. Ended last quarter, the end of last year, 2.1 million cash at bank. You can see from the share price graph there that, people have started to take notice of what we've got in the Kimberley there, and they know that that we're heading out soon we've got drone mag rocking up in 2 weeks' time, ground gravity, and then a rig not too far after that. So we'll find out what we've got out there, and you could see a significant re-rate if we've got what we think we might have out there. Skin in the game, board of management, 11.5%. So we've been putting our money in. We have faith. The board has faith. We've got a really great register, top 20. Everyone's been topping up mostly, so really well supported. We're really lucky at Trek. And so it's all about action. You're not going to find anything if you're not out there drilling. So at Christmas Creek, like I said, geophysics and drilling at all of the key targets. Ongoing stakeholder engagement, target generation at McEwen Hills. And feel free, come and have a chat. Happy to delve into the detail. I think, to be out doing greenfields exploration, you got to have passion for the rocks, and which I believe I have in spades. Love it, can't keep me out of the bush, so please come and have a chat. Thank you for your time.